Everybody has one podcast. We are back.
Yes.
Another week. So much going on in the world of sports, man. So much to discuss. I'm your host, Jason Flake. My co-host, Lance Reynolds, a.k.a. the People's Champ.
What up, though?
I want to start the show like I do every week, man, thanking the Everybody Has One family for another fabulous week of engagement. Nearly 43,000 views on the page over the past 7 days. Thousands of likes, man, hundreds of shares, all kinds of great comments and great engagement, man. I don't even know if we got a chance to respond to everybody, man, that was commenting, but we so much appreciate the Everybody Has One family, man, for tapping in with us. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. That's Everybody Has the #1 sports podcast on YouTube. That's Everybody Has One podcast everywhere else. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, and that is TikTok. Make sure you telling everybody, man, you're discussing it with your friends, family, enemies, ops, people around the corner, man, people up the street, down the block, people across the alley, man.
Everybody.
Make sure y'all hollering at everybody about it, man. This is the holiday season, man, so I know y'all gonna be around a lot of family, man. Make sure you're telling your family members, man, if you're enjoying the content. Make sure, when y'all sitting around the table and kicking it about, man, y'all telling them about the Everybody Has One podcast. We here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. or as close as we can get to it. And we discussing all of the most poignant sports topics of the day. And without further ado, of course, we are a Detroit-based podcast. And the Lions played this past Sunday at the Rams. And unfortunately, we came out on the short end of that, 41-34. Jared Goff had a pretty good game, well over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. But unfortunately, that was not enough. The Rams, looking like, again, the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. Very tough place to go in and get a win. It was a shootout, as you predicted. And just couldn't get, enough stops, enough going on defense in order to be able to pull that one out. But what was your analysis of the game, man? What say the People's Champ, and where do we stand now? What should the fan base be expecting for the remainder of the year? Have we limited ourselves in terms of margin for error? And what do you expect that we should be looking forward to come Sunday against the Steelers?
Well, first off, Sunday didn't quite go as planned.
That's an understatement.
They delivered on the shootout.
Yep.
Certainly didn't go our way. The biggest takeaway for me would be Shep. I was just really perplexed.
Kelvin Shepherd.
Yeah. I was just really perplexed by just the stubbornness, I guess, to just stay in man coverage. I just, bruh, dude, DJ Reed, this man can't cover a twin size bed with a queen size comforter, dude. Like he just can't, man. And again, this is a pro level athlete, top percent. I'm talking about on that level is what I'm talking. Like, bruh, it was at will.
Yeah.
And
hasn't been good.
You definitely can't, I'm not just blaming, the loss on him, but a lot of the defensive struggles resulted from the man coverage where he, especially with a guy like Stafford.
Yeah.
He's always going to exploit a mismatch. He'll find one.
Yeah.
So for you to just hand him one repeatedly, I don't even know. That's like playing Russian roulette with a Draco.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
That was really the main takeaway for me. In terms of, some other, details. Offensively, again, it's nice to see J-Mo.
Yeah.
The continuing development and showcasing of Jameson looking like a #1.
Yeah.
Hey, if we gonna have that Jamar Chase T. Higgins type of scenario here, sign me up for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, that was good to see. I am concerned with, I believe, is this the second week in a row Jameer haven't crossed 50 yards rushing?
Yes, it is. Yep, he only had 43 against Dallas. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's
concerning.
That's concerning for me.
I didn't think we got the run game going very much, but Montgomery had Montgomery was yards per carry.
Yeah.
But he only had 7 carries.
Yeah, they went away from it. Yeah, that was again. It was some things there, but I guess maybe they felt that they had to, keep the track meet going, so to speak. There's that, and again, the interior offensive line had their issues again, and I think that's just going to be an ongoing theme until the offseason. I just don't think that's going to address itself into the offseason. I think that's just has to be a full-blown personnel change.
Yeah.
Or recovery, from injury for some players. Outside of that, I was shocked. Dan went for the field goal early.
Yeah.
I was shocked. He missed, but I was
yeah, that was a big miss.
Yeah, I'm like, and keep that up. You may be a Michigan Panther again.
Yeah,
because there's been a few of those adding up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's been surprisingly
Brother Bates.
shaky.
It's been a few.
It's just when it rains, it pours. I think the entire team has been shaky.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean that's good analysis, man. I agree with much of that. Man, listen. Only Everybody Has One podcast, man. We owe the people honesty. And frankly, man, I just kind of blacked out a lot of the media that I would normally go to, man, this week and, listen to and maybe get some ideas and jot some stuff. Man, I didn't make any notes on the Lions this week because, frankly, I just couldn't muster much passion after that game.
Oh, you apathetic?
A little bit, if I'm being honest. Couple of things, though. I mean, from a schematic standpoint, I agree with you about Kelvin Shepherd, and I'll take it a step further, though.
Okay.
The reason that I feel like we are so stubborn with the man coverage is because we did come out in the second half and we did play. We started in cover 2.
Mm-hmm.
A very basic cover 2 scheme, and we played it very poorly. So the guys don't really know how to play zone. So I think that's part of the problem. So
it's not what we do.
I'll give you an example of what I'm saying. So we were playing a basic cover 2 set. They motioned Puka Nacua into the slot. Now, Puka Nacua been killing us all day. He runs a basic seam route from the slot. He runs right past Alex Anzalone. Now, Alex Anzalone, again, I say this all the time, but it bears repeating. You're not defending grass. When a guy comes into your area, he has to turn and run with Puka Nacua and carry him to the safety. This is a basic cover 2 concept. You can't just let Puka Nacua run behind you while you stand there staring at Matt Stafford, but that's exactly what he did because he thinks he's covering this grass.
DOA.
Yeah, and Puka Nacua stopped right behind him in the zone, and Matt Stafford threw it right over his head to Puka Nacua in the open part of the zone. So he doesn't even know how to play zone, to carry that man to the safety.
Mm-hmm.
So I think part of it is they probably don't coach a lot of zone, so they don't want to play a lot of zone.
That's fair.
And against a good quarterback like Matt Stafford, you can't play all one thing anyway. You have to mix coverages. You have to disguise. You got to disguise fronts. But just to move away from the technical aspect, let me just come from a fan standpoint because, first of all, shout out to the People's Champ. The People's Champ picked the Lions to win 10 games this year. I picked them to win 12. The People's Champ is going to be closer to right than I am. I thought we needed to win 12. I'm going to be right about that, I think.
Yeah.
10, I don't know, gets us in, but we'll see because it's a stacked NFC this year. But as I thought about going over playoff scenarios and discussing the playoffs and how we get in and all of that, really, man, the one question became, what does it matter? If we squeeze in as the 7th seed
and get our ass kicked,
we probably going to be headed to Lambeau. We've been on the field twice with the Green Bay Packers this year.
They'll be without Micah Parsons.
It don't matter. Edge rushers are not needle movers.
Well,
somebody sat here and told you that too.
Well,
and that leads me into my next point about the to all of the people, all of the I need more from Hutch people. I told you that an edge rusher is not a needle mover. Micah Parsons ain't a needle mover. The Green Bay Packers, they still going to do whatever they going to do with or without him. The Green Bay Packers won 11 games last year without Micah Parsons. They on pace to win 11 games this year, and they've had a healthy Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons just went from a bad situation to a good situation. He didn't make the Green Bay Packers better. He didn't. And you can argue, you can go to the grocery store and argue with the produce section. He didn't. He didn't add one win. Not one. They on the same pace they was on last year with wins and losses. The Dallas Cowboys, the team he left, on the same pace with wins and losses. Nick Bosa, $34 million man. He played 14 of the 17 games last year. His team won 6. They've been without him for most of the year. They looking for win number 11. Myles Garrett, he on pace to win the Defensive Player of the Year award. His team is going to win less than 5 games.
Yeah.
Max Crosby, he plays for the Oakland Raiders, possibly the worst team in football. He one of the best edge rushers.
Yeah, you could have just stopped and said he plays for the Vegas Raiders.
Right.
Yeah, like just.
I mean, one person said that if I was Brad Holmes, wouldn't give Hutch $50 million a year. One person sat here and said that. I also said, don't worry, they're not going to listen to me. They're going to give him $50 million a year anyway. And they did. The edge rusher just is not a needle mover like that. They just don't. A great edge rusher is a great edge rusher, and he's a compliment on a great team. He's not going to change the team, though. And he doesn't.
But I think a player like Hutch on your defense, when you consider his age and where he's at, he's a piece that you build around.
Absolutely. I'm not telling you Hutch is not a great player.
No,
I'm not
I
telling
know
you
not.
Myles Garrett is not a great player.
I just think that, they're like someone was going to pay him.
Hutch had
I'd rather it been us.
Yeah. Hutch had a sack and a half and a 58-yard interception return on Sunday.
Right.
The defense gave up 41 points. They just don't move the needle.
Right. Well,
is my point.
Yeah, no, I get that. But and to your point, also about, even the playoffs. It's just like, I just feel that with that secondary, it doesn't really matter This
is my point. That's why I'm like, listen.
Like whoever we face in the playoffs.
A great edge rusher is only worth so much.
Yeah, I agree.
Is my point. Even on a really good team. And because I think Green Bay is a good team. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, there's only so much value add that you get out of them.
Right.
It's not like a quarterback or a number one receiver or a number one running back. You get so much value out of those positions. An edge rusher is a compliment to a great team.
I got you.
But they pay them like the second most important player.
Right.
Is the point. I'm not telling you that Hutch is not good.
No, right. I mean, I get you.
Or talented.
It was Derek Brooks. It was Sapp. Right. It was Lynch and Barber.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get it.
You need the whole squad. And I'm like,
And with Hutch, he's now like naked without Branch, without Kirby most of the season.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Davis is gone.
You need him as a piece.
Lee McNeil plays every other week.
Yeah. Al-Qadim Muhammad is.
Right.
He like Michelle Williams on the Destiny's Child tour. Right. He show up every third city. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might see him.
Right.
We might not.
So, yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
And so, that is what it is. I'm like, Hutch, you want more than a sack and a half and a 58-yard interception return?
Right.
That's what I'm like. He had a great game.
Right. There's like not more that he can do.
Yeah, like what you want. You want a 4 or 5 sack game? That's not realistic. That's not realistic on a week in and week out basis. And he's getting the double teams. He's getting the chips. He's getting the tight end over there on him. They doing everything to slow him down.
And he's applying pressure, but there's no one on the other side to clean up on aisle 6.
This is what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
I'm like, this is the entire point. So
preach on.
I'm like, we may squeeze in to the 7th seed, but I don't think that it's going to make a difference.
You think they get in with 11 wins?
Yeah, to the 7th spot.
7th spot? You think 11 wins gets the 7th spot?
Yeah, I think that'll get them the 7th seed. That'll get us going to Green Bay in the wild card round, and that'll be it. Christian Watson
goes nuts.
Yeah, Christian Watson, Golden, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed. We're not going to be able to stop
Josh Jacobs, did you see that catch he had, that touchdown grab that he
that
had?
That was a great catch. But I'm like, but Denver might have the best defense in football, and they played them they basically played them right down to the wire at their place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't mean to throw cold water on the conversation, but I'm not feeling much hope.
This is hard for us. We both picked the Lions to win the Super Bowl, not just go. We picked them to win.
I did. The Bears, I expect the Bears to lose the next 2 weeks. I expect the Lions to win the next 2 weeks, and then it'll come down to Soldier Field. And I expect the Lions to win that game because we're a bad matchup for the Bears. But with that being said, it might not necessarily go that way. And if we don't win the next 2 weeks, we ain't a playoff team anyway.
We won't be. So yeah.
I mean, you're not. Listen, Pittsburgh coming in with plenty to play for. You shouldn't be overlooking them. But at home, you should beat Pittsburgh. You should be favored. You will be, and you should beat them.
Shout out Tyrone.
Yeah. If you don't beat Pittsburgh, you're not a playoff team. If you don't beat Minnesota, a non-playoff team, at their place in a controlled environment, you're not a playoff team. With J.J. McCarthy at the helm, you're not a playoff team. Those are losable games. You could lose them. I expect you to win them. But even if you do all of that, then what? Then you go to Chicago. That's going to be a toss-up game. You might not be favored. That's going to be a toss-up.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, because Chicago's going to want that game. They're going to remember that you put 52 on them in week 2. But I think we a better team than Chicago. But
and it was a disrespectful 52.
It was.
Well, remember that.
We went for it on 4th down.
That's what I'm saying. It was a disrespectful 52.
Yep.
And they are a different team. But again, to your point, styles make fights.
They do. I think we a bad matchup for Chicago, but
that said.
But that's not going to be, you're not just walking into Chicago and coming out of there with a W.
31 takeaways.
Yeah. but also, Chicago is a little bit of fool's gold because Chicago runs the ball and they depend on their defense for takeaways. But
yeah, you get them started taking water, then it's.
But my thing is good teams. What do good teams do? The 2 things that good teams do is they stop the run and they don't turn it over.
Yep.
I'm like, once every team is good, even if they make it to the playoffs, they going to find that what good teams do, good teams stuff the run and they don't turn it over.
So you mean the Denver Broncos?
All the good teams. All of them. Yeah. All of them. You look at the bottom of the league and giveaways, and it's all the best teams.
And no, I just say that to say, because with Denver, you look at how that streak that they've had.
Yeah.
It's always something like in the 4th quarter where it comes down to either ball security or making a big stop on 3rd down for their defense or getting a turnover on defense or breaking up a pass on defense. Yeah.
And another thing, they 31st in sacks allowed. They don't let you at their quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, man,
remember those days for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, if Jared, I maintain if Jared Goff played for Denver, they'd be undefeated.
Damn, that's a new one. I had to think about that. It doesn't sound crazy on his face.
No. I'm like, if Jared Goff played for Denver, because Jared Goff does not turn it. He doesn't throw interceptions.
No.
And if with time, he'll light you up.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nobody better without time.
I've never, like I said, I've never heard anybody put that out there.
Yeah. I'm like, man, I said it. You trade Jared Goff. All of these people that want Jared Goff gone. You trade Jared Goff like you did with Matthew Stafford into a ready-made Super Bowl situation. It's Jared Goff to the Rams. It's Stafford to the Rams all over again. Trade Jared Goff somewhere that's ready to win.
Yeah. But I gotta give him credit, man. And you have to give some credit to Sean Payton too.
Oh yeah.
But
Sean Payton's a great coach.
Bo Nix is over-delivered.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, you know how when there's, coaches of a certain stature and just acumen, there's, you can just get them a guy that's competent enough to.
I agree.
But Bo Nix has done that and then some.
Oh yeah.
Like by a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
And I was never really a big Bo Nix guy. And I got to keep it a buck.
Yeah.
He's made some plays where I was like.
But man.
And
keep him clean.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like if you keep an NFL quarterback clean,
for sure,
that's a different man. The difference that makes, that turns, because I think that Bo Nix is, let's call him above average.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it takes an above average quarterback, it makes him good.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a good quarterback, makes him really good. Mm-hmm. A great quarterback, it makes them unstoppable.
I hear no arguments.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like because we saw that immediately when Matt Stafford moved from the Lions to the Rams.
Chip.
Yeah. Because we knew that he was really good. I did. A lot of the Lions fans wanted him gone, but I knew that he was really good. But
I still think that biggest problem with that team is they didn't bring that defense back.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that it just became a matter of cost. Like they were just spending so much. It was like, they was already on the back end of the spending. That's why they went out and got a quarterback, because they was like, we need to seize on all of this talent. Because
that wide 9 was killer, man.
Yeah,
it was killer. And Fairly and all, man, I digress.
But at any rate, man, give me a prediction, man, for the Lions versus the Steelers, man. Then we'll move on because there's a lot to discuss here.
Yeah, man, just to spite my man Ty, I'm going Lions 24, Steelers 17.
Okay, yeah, I can roll with that,
I think we beat Aaron Rodgers up.
Yeah,
I think we beat Aaron Rodgers up. I think Jahmyr Gibbs bounced back. And,
Yeah, I mean, I got the Lions. I call it 28-21.
Okay.
Only because even bad teams get 3 scores on us.
Yeah. But Aaron Rodgers is trash.
I mean, yeah, listen, he looked pretty good on Monday night. But, I mean, yes, listen, the Dolphins are beleaguered.
I'm just saying, I'm like, man, I mean, Miami is out here like playing for Cancun at this point.
But I don't know, man, the way our secondary is looking.
Yeah, that's true, too. I mean, just throw towards number 4.
Bro.
And the ball will find its way to the opponent. Yeah, that's fair.
At any rate, man, let's move on, man. Because last week the Sherrone Moore thing was just breaking when we got on. And we didn't want to talk out of school about everything that was taking place with Sherrone. But now we obviously have all of the details. So obviously we know that Sherrone was fired. That's no longer breaking news for an inappropriate relationship with a subordinate. We now know that upon his termination, he went home, obviously had some sort of conversation / argument with his wife. And then from there, and this is all alleged and according to police reports, went from there to the young lady's home. And again, this is all alleged. This is according to police reports, and forced his way into the home somehow. They didn't say how, but in front of her with butter knives and apparently some kitchen scissors, threatened to unalive himself and accused her of ruining his life. And he was then subsequently taken into custody. He was arraigned on a misdemeanor charge and also with a home invasion charge and I believe a felony assault charge.
Third degree.
Yeah, okay, so that I think that's a misdemeanor. So a misdemeanor assault charge and also a home invasion charge. And of course, the case is obviously pending. I believe he's out on bond at this time.
Was Sean actually out with his wife?
Yeah, I guess,
Ride or die.
Yeah, they're going to listen. He at least needed 4 appearances at this point.
I mean, the long game is set. Game set match anyway.
Yeah, listen, he at least needed, he needs that for the criminal side so that he don't end up getting thrown under a jail.
You know what it is.
Allegedly. We're going to say that allegedly.
But, so the charges were felony 3rd-degree home invasion, misdemeanor stalking in a domestic relationship, and a misdemeanor breaking and entering.
Gotcha. Okay. So, so 1 felony and then some misdemeanors. So a few things, man. So, there's been a lot of conversation. Some of it sports related, most of it not.
Right.
Most of it about, black men blowing millions of dollars chasing women, particularly white women. Let's just call it what it is, man. Let's get into it. Because Mel Tucker did something probably more foolish because he blew a much bigger bag.
Yes.
But, and
he ain't even get laid.
Exactly. Right. To put it bluntly. Yeah, right. But what say the people's champ, man, before I chime in with my 2 cents, Sherrone is, man, I don't even know. I have so many thoughts, man. Some of them appropriate for this conversation, some of them not. But what say the people's champ, man?
Man, we're about a year into this show, and I'd like to go a few more. So,
right.
I'm gonna dance this line as tight as I can.
Yeah.
With the whole Sherrone Moore thing.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I mean, on its face, you're like, what do you want me to say? It's like, I think if you've had anyone responsible in your life, when you get to a certain point in your life and you obtain employment,
right?
There's usually a conversation had about, let's just say, fraternizing, with fellow employees in the romantic sense. Let's just say. So, whether you're the head coach at the University of Michigan, or you're the manager at Wendy's.
Right.
If you married and you messing with baby girl working the drive-through window, it's going to go bad.
Yeah.
So again, it's like, and as for, the whole thing that was kind of really driving me up the wall was where everyone's kicking Sherrone when he's down, and he didn't get his ass kicked enough on the way up,
right?
Or he wouldn't have been in this position. You get what I'm saying? Like, there is
a very interesting way to look at it.
Like you like sometimes like you've got to realize what's at stake.
Yeah,
and there's a difference to me between, from a person who's done plenty of both.
Yeah.
Between mistakes and bad decisions.
Yeah.
And it's like, a lot of times, like us as Black people, when we make just really, really, really messed up decisions, we want to view it publicly as a mistake. Yep. Whereas I don't think a lot of times the right message is sent abroad to who needs to receive it by doing that.
Yeah.
Which is why I think we have these repeat occurrences.
Yeah, man. I mean, no, that's very well put. And the only thing that I add to that is that Sherrone Moore was the first black head football coach at the University of Michigan in 150 years. Mm-hmm. And, you know, maybe it's an unfair responsibility to put on him by saying you got to watch your step. I mean, now, do I believe that Sherrone Moore of the 200 plus, FCS schools, do I think he's the only one that's sleeping with a subordinate?
Extramarital affair? Absolutely not.
No, probably not. But you got to understand your situation a little bit better. First of all, you were left behind. Let's go ahead and view the situation the way that it is. You were left behind by the Harbaugh
scandal
regime to bear the brunt of the scandal.
Yeah.
To take the punishment, right. Basically. And listen, I'll leave up to the audience to deduce whether or not him being black has anything to do with that. I've got my own opinion, but I'll keep it to myself. You were left behind to bear the brunt of that scandal, and you were punished for it. So it's highly questionable whether or not the University of Michigan really wanted you to be their head football coach at all. So understanding your situation is key. So when they kept you around, basically to take the brunt of the scandal, because any new football coach that they brought in, they would have been punished for something they weren't a part of. So they kept you on. So in the light of that, it would have been smart of you not to give them a reason to terminate you. Now, me, I'm just going to tell you the way that I'm thinking about it. If it's millions of dollars at stake, I'm not hiring any women. Not even unattractive ones, not even old ones, none. I'm not hiring any women. Now, that might sound bold. I might get fired for not hiring any women. And then why do you need a personal assistant? And if you need one, hire a man. Because women can only get you in trouble in this situation because there's a no fraternizing rule. So I wouldn't even hire any women. It'll be an all-male operation, man. It's football, and most of the time that's not going to be looked at as being too odd. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's just all boys, all men around, it's football, we scouting, we talking football all day, we watching film, we doing football related stuff. And
man, I think you got to give yourself a little more credit than that. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like you could hire some women and be totally fine.
I would be totally fine, but I got a staff full of men.
You're just talking about the entire whole.
I wouldn't hire. Correct. I'm gonna protect everybody.
You're talking about the environment.
Correct. I'm protecting everybody. I probably would not hire any women. My assistants are men. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm protecting everybody. The environment, in my opinion, might not be good for women. Now that's just my way of thinking.
But I think you can do like a better job. Like because again, and maybe this is another conversation that leads up to Warde Manuel, but maybe that leads to like better character evaluation.
I agree.
Because I mean, when you look at Sherrone, it's a series of like bad decisions.
Yeah, I mean, right.
Like,
the OnlyFans
that like
girl,
being revealed, where it's just like,
yeah.
I mean, this dude was a Richard head.
Yeah,
like, like let's be like, come on now. Like after a while,
I agree.
Like, I get it. Sometimes you fall in love with somebody else wrongfully outside of your marriage. This fool was just freaky and dumb and had money. And had an affinity for snow bunnies.
But let me say this.
Because
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Because it's first off, it's two different issues in play right here. Mm-hmm. There's the Sherrone Moore issue and there's the Michigan issue. I'm going to put the Michigan issue to the side right now because I think Lance is about to get into it. But as far as the Sherrone Moore side of it goes, it's outside of everything that's already been reported. It's clear that this man had it. from what I'm reading and what I've seen and whatnot, it's clear that he probably has a sex addiction. Because there's no way you're going out and following OnlyFans models on your official head football coach account. Like, that's just negligence to the utmost degree.
Yeah,
and then
no doubt.
we get back to the whole inappropriate relationship. Like, this started in 2022. He wasn't the coach until 2024.
Yep.
So now I think, and that's why I'm gonna turn it back to you. Like, now it's like we got to start really talking about Warde, because you hired this man, and not everybody's saying this was just an open secret from the get-go.
Yeah.
Well, let me do this. Let me do this. Because I you might be right. I don't want to start diagnosing people with things.
Right. Fair.
That's
fair. That's legit.
A lot of men, have.
And mind you, there is an investigation going on into what they know and what they don't know.
I agree.
And that from what some people are saying, Michigan might have a permanent president before the semester opens up.
Yeah.
So I think what's probably going to happen is they're going to do their investigation, and I'm air quoting as a ardent Michigan supporter, I am doing air quotes when I say investigation.
Mm-hmm. Internal investigation.
The internal investigation, that's going to show whatever they show, and then I think it's just going to come down to the new president and decide if this is what I want to be the head of my athletic department.
Yeah. I mean, let me pivot from the Warde Manuel conversation a little bit, because I understand that, that's a whole nother issue. Because I tend to agree that, it's looking less and less likely that he's going to survive this. But let me just introduce the fact that some people, when they get money and stature and power, that does something to an individual.
No drug like access.
When they get visibility, see, they may be perfectly fine prior to that. Where they might be chased, or they may appear chaste. Let me say that. They may appear to be upstanding and moral until they get some money and some visibility and some access, and then they got women throwing themselves at them. See, some men have never had a woman come on to them. Some men have never had a woman, invite them to some sort of sexual liaison. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to say, I'm trying to be PC. And there is
You're saying he could be potentially a lame.
Yeah, right. I mean, and that can be intoxicating once we've seen it, experience that.
We've seen it.
And so I'm saying, like, I'm not trying to defend Warde Manuel or anybody else, but I'm just saying that you may not be able to necessarily pick that up in somebody's character from the jump. Like, sometimes you introduce them to these situations where there's high visibility, there's a big salary, people start to know them, and then you see these traits come out. You're like, oh man, I ain't even know he was gonna act like that.
But there's a difference between somebody changing because of they getting success and somebody continuing a relationship that they had with somebody in 2022.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm speaking more to my point where I just wouldn't hire women to be around the program. It would be like a boys club, from the beginning. Like, I'm just not having women around my program like that. This is what I'm saying, because you might be like, yeah, Lance is cool, Justin is cool. Like, we can have, Katie around and Tiffany around, but then, I might start paying Lance $1 million a year, and women start, like, he gets some visibility, and all of a sudden he the man, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that may change his personality some.
Correction.
Is all I'm saying.
I also had sex with Katie.
Right, exactly. Those conversations might be popping up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, but I didn't want to go too much down the Sherrone Moore. I just wanted to give that update.
Yeah, no, I
and
get
give
you.
some additional perspectives
but to your
on
point,
it.
It's so many legs on it.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I
is.
mean?
It is.
And
There's so much to discuss, man.
It's a lot. Yeah, man.
And I appreciate your perspective too, nephew, because and to your point, listen, whether or not he has a sex addiction, and again, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
I'm not saying for certain he has one. I'm just saying from what we hear.
Oh, we know he's freaky, brother. He hit up the IG
I'm
chick
backing
fresh out of jail.
I'm backing up your point. Whether he got one or not, they gonna say he got one because they taking that into the court.
Yeah, bro.
Whether or not he got one or not.
Force him for season tickets, quid pro pro. It's crazy. That is crazy.
Vance, real quick before we transition, do you got any thoughts on how the situation is unfolding right now with the head coaching search?
Yeah, because it was looking like Kenny Dillingham was like in there for a second, but then that died down fast.
Major bag alert.
Right.
They just like, nah. Well, I was hoping that they would name a coach
by the time we got back on air.
Like to just kind of quelch
all of this
conversation. Yes. But and it makes me wonder to what nephew was talking about earlier, like if they knew this was going on, and then to your point, where if they never really wanted Sherrone in the first place, where's plan B, C, and D?
Right. And so, and again, I really didn't want to open up this can of worms, but there's a lot of conversation around the young lady not being terminated, who was a part of it. And I'm wondering,
how funny is that?
If a new head coach is worried about the NCAA coming in and conducting an investigation, to nephew's point, Michigan's doing an internal investigation because it sounds to me like, because nephew brought it up,
like the Mavi Smith internal investigation,
like that, the institutional control, it can and might very well be called into question with this entire scandal. This opens up a can of worms. This opens up the ability for the NCAA to come and start poking around.
Yeah.
And so I think that a new head coach may be reluctant based upon that. They like, look, we don't want to come into no sanctions and all of that.
Yeah. I think you're on to something there, because to your point, I think the worms have been out and digging for a while with Michigan. I mean, you look at just over the past 10 years. I mean, hell, how many DUIs they tried to sweep under the rug.
Listen.
And the whole Mavi Smith situation with the gun, and the Xavier Simpson situation.
Yep.
I mean, just pick one.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
And then you kind of put this as like the class action lawsuit that they just settled over that 2022, 2023. And then you throw this on top as like this conversation that crosses over into so many different conversations.
Right.
In terms of, again, another workplace behavior conversation.
Right.
Another black-white relationship conversation. The whole criminalization of the black male sexuality conversation. The whole lineage legacy in terms of Sherrone being the first black coach at a historic PWI.
Right.
All of that.
Yeah.
And so to have this go on top of all of the things since
is what I'm talking about.
14, 15, or let's just say since Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I mean, and Juwan Howard.
Yeah, that's Juwan. Yeah,
the whole Juwan Howard.
Like it's been
people don't realize that this really started with the first hockey hire that Warde tried to hire, and there was something crazy going on with that. Like this that's really like the start as far as Warde is concerned.
Yeah, and again, it's like, and I don't want to pin it on just say Warde, but it's like you say, it's gonna be a fall guy.
Yeah, it's institutional. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, this could, and so I think that any head coach with advisors, and they all gonna have them, even if you offer in a big bag, like you don't want to be set up to fail. Like they might, you get the job, and then the NCAA come in like, yeah, we're going to launch an investigation, and it could be sanctions.
So this may be the new question for like people to answer in the comments. Is the University of Michigan toxic?
I mean, yeah, like certainly, yeah. And I mean, it almost might have been better for them to just
because you kind of
terminate.
add this up now. You look at how they left.
Yeah, just terminate Sherrone, but give him his money and do it quietly, because them not giving him his money is what made him crash out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that they like, yeah, and you ain't gonna get paid. So I think they might have been better off just paying him. But
yeah, man.
Again, like,
I just don't think this will go away, man.
No, yeah, it's not, man.
But just real quick before we move on, just to sum up what I've been gathering from other news stories and videos and whatnot. So it sounds like right now the timeline is they're waiting for Friday to have Kalen DeBoer tell them no.
Okay.
And then from there, then probably Kenny Cunningham will probably get the official offer at that point. And then the third name that was coming up was Jed Fish, but it seemed like Jed Fish is apparently out. So what happens if Kenny Cunningham says no? I don't know.
They keep searching, but again, I just think anybody's going to be reticent at this point, because the institutional control investigation. Listen, I'm not going to say it seems imminent, but it's certainly a strong possibility that the NCAA could come in and do and launch an investigation. But
that'll be a battle.
Yeah. Nah, man, yeah, that could be something. Man, let's move on to the Pistons, man.
Yes, sir.
Because they continue to roll.
Yes, indeed.
They got to win. What was that? Monday against the Celtics to move to 21 wins. Yeah, that was Monday against the Celtics. It was a pretty hard fought victory against the Celtics. Cade had a big fourth quarter. I think he hit 5 threes in that game too, which is kind of un-Cade like. You know, he's more of a mid-range monster, but he can step out and do it all. 21-5, man. It's being overshadowed a little bit by what OKC is doing, but to me, they the best team in the East. It's them and the Knicks, but I think that at full strength, we the best team in the East. Ivy is starting to look a little bit more like himself. And Duren didn't even do much in the game against Boston, and I thought we maintained control of it for the entire time. And that's the sign of a good team. Like, you don't even have to have all your guns firing, and you can still win. But this discussion popped up, man, on one of the social sites. Is Cade a top 5 player right at this moment, in your opinion?
Position doesn't matter.
Yeah, regardless of position.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I was trying to think of 5. I was trying to think of how long did it take me to get to 4 players that was better than him. And it was taking me too long once I got to like 3.
Yeah, I'm so you got Luka, SGA, Jokic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's Cade, Cade, Wemby, Cade. Wemby just came back off of injury.
Like Cade is like, I got Cade that group with like Wemby, Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Like right in.
To me, I think he playing better than Ant-Man right at this moment. You know what I'm saying? So I would have him.
I mean, Minnesota's not winning as much.
Right.
But Ant-Man, he hurt right now. But before he got hurt, he was going dumb.
Ant-Man was balling. I'm not hating on Ant-Man, but what's Cade, 29-9 right now?
Yeah, somewhere close like that.
27-9. Yeah,
somewhere close like that.
Just right at this moment. I'm just like, at this moment, I'm like, he top 5, but
I think he's definitely if we're going
right now, he's 27-9.
27-9. Yeah, that's why I'm like 27-9. I'm like, to me, right this moment, he one of the 5 best players in the association.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and and certainly an MVP candidate.
That's what I was going to say. I said, now see the top 5 conversation sometimes can be, fluid, super fluid, but I definitely think he is number 2 in MVP rankings. I think it's SGA and then him.
Yeah. I mean, 21-5, he got his team humming like that. Yeah, I agree. I'm like, 20. Nobody expected the Pistons to be 21-5, and he's the reason.
I certainly didn't.
Yeah, nobody picked that. Nobody picked that. So yeah, and he's certainly the reason why. He deserves his flowers. He deserves his kudos. And I just want to.
And to your point with Cade, the players that are thriving because of him.
Absolutely.
Whereas
he's the engine.
A lot of the other, some of the other MVP candidates, have co-stars that are a little more accomplished.
Of course.
They
got all stars around them.
They've got a little more accolades. So,
yep.
I don't want to downgrade or,
no, but
condescend on our guys.
I agree, but they're ascending
for sure
just now.
Right.
Where those other guys have guys that are more established.
For sure.
So yeah, absolutely. That's a part of the reason why I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's an MVP candidate right now because he's doing the most with less.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of anybody. And again, and like you said, I like where our guys are going. A lot of our guys are developing, but we don't. I don't think we have anybody other than him in their prime yet.
No,
you know what I'm saying. So like, yeah, it's
and even Cade. He's still like kind of approaching.
Yeah, right. Really.
Was he 25? Did he just turn 25?
Yeah, I think 24? He's 24. Going on.
Is he still 24?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He might, if he's 25, he just turned 25.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But let me check it. But if he's 25, he just turned 25.
He's 24.
Yeah, he's 24. That's what I said.
He just turned 24.
Oh, wow. So, man, he got like 2 solid years for even approach his physical prime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
man.
Nah, man. Cade is that man. And that's all it is to it. And I love the fact that the whole core is young like that, man. And we got so many years to develop and get there. And JB is doing a great job.
One question for you.
Yeah.
And I'll throw this at nephew too. How many players do we get on any of the 3 all-defensive teams this season?
Oh, wow. Well, I think Asar should be on an all-defensive team, and I think Beef Stew should too. Aside from that, man, it's hard for me. I would have to look into the numbers and look at defensive win share and steals and all of that. But we should at least get those 2. I like, Duren he's developed, like he's starting to block a lot more shots and be a better rim protector, but I don't know that he's all defensive level yet. To me, Beef Stew is all defensive level.
I think Beef Stew is a lock for an all-defensive team.
Yeah, he gotta be, man. Like
he's consistently shown, and I think he still is second in the NBA in blocks. But he's shown it's not a per minute thing.
Yeah, no.
You put him out on the floor, he's affecting the game defensively by altering or blocking shots.
I agree.
And then offensively, he doesn't hurt you.
No, man. Beef Stew can score.
But yeah, I think he's a lock. I don't know which one he falls on, but I think he's a lock. I think Asar is a lock, and I think one to consider out of left field, maybe to some folks. I think you consider Cade.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Cade is an excellent two-way player
at a defensive guard spot on the all-defensive team, and if we continue to trend and pile up these wins,
the interesting thing about that, because I think about Cade. But the only thing is that when you're a great offensive player now, they do a weird thing if you're a great offensive player now. Unless you like Wemby and you just, like ridiculously great at defense, you know what I'm saying? And you just can't be ignored, or Giannis, like one of these real long guys. But they do an interesting thing with the guards. Because last year, SGA had the second best defensive rating in the NBA.
Well, that's true.
Behind his teammate, Jalen Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So... But he wasn't, because I was surprised he wasn't considered for an all-defensive team.
Yeah.
But they do something weird they overlook you if you're really great at offense. They He's real great at offense, and he's a byproduct of a great defensive team, which the Pistons are. That's why I didn't mention him. But I agree. I think Cade is a very underrated individual defender. He's really good. I mean, I'm with you on that.
There's a lot of goofies that vote on this stuff.
It is. I think they do something with you got to be Dyson Daniels or something. Like you got to be like a 12-point a game scorer for them to consider you a great defender, and I don't understand that.
It's like almost they penalize them for being a two-way player
on
a high-level two-way player.
Right.
But if you're kind of like a middle tier where you do a lot of everything well, but you may be a higher level defensive player, they kind of, to your point, just kind of reward them more.
I agree.
That is weird.
Something weird happens there, man. But I want to get into these college football playoff first round predictions, man, because we could be off. We're going to be off at least next week. So I definitely want to touch on this, man, before we conclude. And then we got a couple of boxing conversations that we need to have.
Yeah, man. Big news, man. It came down the pike last night.
We can't not talk about it, man.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Your boys James Madison, man, versus Oregon.
Let's go. Let's go, Dukes.
Give me a prediction, man.
Oh, man, don't make me do this. Man. I got family watching, dog.
Oh, man. I mean, listen, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if James Madison, gave him a romp, man, for a quarter and a half or a half.
Yeah, I think the first half they'll play him tough.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, Oregon got too many bullets in the gun, man. Yeah. I don't know if you can say that on YouTube, but they got a little bit too much firepower, man. So I don't know that James Madison gonna be able to keep up. But
I think that's just what it'll boil down to. I just think offensively, Oregon just has so much.
They do. They got so many high power weapons, man, with Bennett and DeCorian Moore. If he's back, I think DeCorian Moore is back, But yeah, I mean, they got 4 running backs, and they just hit you with so much.
Now that said, I mean, James Madison does have an explosive offense. They do have some explosive offensive players.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't beat themselves.
No, they always gonna be well coached.
But sometimes, you just when it comes down to just player to player, sometimes the talent just separates itself.
Yep.
DeCorian Moore is questionable for the game.
Okay. Appreciate that one, nephew. And then the other one that could get a little.
But I got Oregon winning by 2 scores.
2 scores. Okay.
I hate to say that.
Give me.
Sorry, Carter.
Ole Miss and Tulane. That's the other one that could get a little lopsided. But again, it's the distraction element. No Lane Kiffin there. An interim coach, so that could go 2 ways, right?
But see, to your point, because Tulane, again, they're explosive.
Yeah. Ole Miss could be lethargic or they could be pissed off.
Yeah.
So, you never know what kind of effect not having a head coach will have. I do expect Ole Miss to take care of business in that game, but I think it could be a high-scoring affair. That could be a fun one to watch. I expect Ole Miss probably to win by 10, maybe 17 points when it all comes out, because I think they just have more talent.
Yeah.
And but Tulane will come out excited and ready to go and ready to, run and do all of that. But I think Ole Miss will probably be a little bit too much to handle.
There's something to be said, though. Maybe if you got those guys at Ole Miss, those young men may be playing for pride. Like, you know what?
I just want to point out.
Screw Lane.
I just want to point out that Ole Miss is the only team who has a quarterback who has played in a national championship game, let alone win one.
Okay.
Well,
no, I mean, listen, I think Ole Miss ultimately will be too much to handle for Tulane. But I just wonder, man, all of that drama, that can impact younger people a little bit more than professionals.
And don't forget, Tulane's head coach has got 1 foot out the door in Florida right now.
That's true. That's true. But at least he's there. Lane Kiffin got 2 feet out the door.
They honoring his contract for the season.
Lane Kiffin over in Death Valley, man, looking at recruit sheets. He on 24/7, looking at Louisiana recruits. But yeah, I feel you, nephew.
Visits.
Yeah, I feel you, nephew. No, yeah, I expect Ole Miss to take care of business in that one. But I think Tulane could make it interesting. Miami and Texas A&M, man. Texas A&M gonna take care of business in that one.
Yep, because Miami gonna find a way to screw the pooch like they always do since Al Coker.
Yeah, I like Texas A&M in a close game, man. But I think that one will be close. I like a close shootout right there. Like 30-27, Texas A&M, something like that.
I'm telling you, Miami gonna do something goofy to lose, and like it'll look like it's going smooth, and then all of a sudden they gonna get 4 flats.
Yeah, I look Marcel Reese. I like him, as a dual threat quarterback. And then I think the best game probably of this weekend gonna be Alabama, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That's a toss up, man. I lean toward Oklahoma.
You rolling with Mateer?
Just slightly, because I wonder about Alabama's ability to run the football. And I feel like you're going to need to be able to run the football in these very high stakes 1-game eliminations. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels to me like Alabama is a little dependent on the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not good in a playoff scenario.
Yeah.
But we'll say the people's champ, man.
Yeah, I like Oklahoma in that game.
Yeah.
But I just think, there'll be a little bit too much for Alabama, I should say. They have an explosive offense. Quarterback finally probably as healthy as he's been all year.
Yeah. And then Venables is good on defense, even though, like the one thing, Alabama is very explosive on the outside.
Yeah.
They got weapons on the outside, and
they keep them.
Yeah, they do. They are very explosive on the outside. So that's the one thing that gives me pause. But I think that Venables will have a game plan to contain that, much like Georgia did, and he'll force them to try to run the ball. He's going to give them 2 high safeties.
Yeah, that'll be their best bet.
Yeah, he's going to give them 2 high safeties, and he's going to say, look, run the ball. And I think Jan Miller is hurt, so they got the freshman running back. So, that's even more so why I'm concerned about their ability to get something going in the run game.
Yeah, that could be huge.
Yeah.
So I got 2 questions.
Go ahead, man.
I got one playoff question and then one kind of general college football question for y'all before we move on to boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So my playoff question I got for y'all is, do any of these teams have the potential to be a 2024 Ohio State?
So in other words, like a lower seed that plays in the first round and runs all the way to the national championship? No, because I think that the 2 best teams in the country played in the Big Ten championship game. So I'm picking, really, I think Ohio State is going to win again, because I felt like whoever won the Big Ten championship game would lose the rematch. And I thought that Indiana would edge out Ohio State. And then I feel like when they meet again, and I think that's an inevitability, Ohio State will edge out Indiana.
On its face, I think you are 100% right. But if I had to say, just take a gamble on one for the people, out of the groups, out of the group and the teams playing Saturday, the best shot to make a run all the way would probably be Oregon, because out of those teams, they have the best player.
Yeah, I agree.
And sometimes, special players can, get a hold of the special magic juice and, go on, take the team on a ride. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but we've seen it happen a time or two. So if I had to pick one that could kind of possibly, not saying they will, but possibly out of that group, I would go Oregon.
Decorian Moore better come back. That's all I'm saying. He better, if that's the case, he better not be questionable after James Madison.
All right. And then the last thing I got for y'all is I'm getting a couple of portal announcements out here. I think most casual fans, the biggest names that's going to be entered are Dylan Raiola, Sam Levitt, and DJ Lagway.
Oh, wow. Dylan Raiola, huh?
Is there any schools that you could think that might possibly fit one of those three?
Hey, man, listen, young Dylan Raiola, you would look great in the green and white, young man. Okay? Because we building something special over here, Pat Fitzgerald, and we don't have any scandal right now.
That said, though, Dylan, I mean, we did spend about $13 million on a quarterback that only threw for 9 touchdowns.
Hey, man,
so
listen,
I'm just saying,
y'all have a quarterback. Man.
Everybody has a price. Bro. I mean, we print money over here.
Calm down, man.
We are to block him.
We got 3 billionaires in the alumni, Dylan, man. We can spend with the best of them, okay?
We do.
And we just had $200 million pledged to our athletic programs, man. We got some cake over here, too. Okay?
We'll have Tom Brady give you a call. We'll fly him out to you. You want Ric Flair to be on the plane, too? That's nothing. Yeah, we'll get Stafford to recruit him. he's a Georgia guy. Like, hey, take him back to his days growing up here in Michigan. Come on. Dylan, you grew up here as a young lad.
No, yeah, I like Dylan Raiola.
But that would be live, though. If he went to state, though.
Yeah, I listen. I'm here for it.
And Bryce Dave and Progressives, that would be.
Yeah,
I'd be here for that.
I'm here for it.
That's big time.
Yeah, we got to build the offensive line, though. We really need to build the trenches, though.
Yeah, for sure.
More importantly, and we need a defensive backfield. We like the Lions in the defensive backfield.
We need a coach. We probably are going to need an AD.
Right.
We need a tight end.
So, yeah.
We need a couple of receivers.
But y'all got a great O-line, though.
We do have a great O-line coming back.
Some D tackles.
Yeah, we got 3 redshirt sophomores that all got better throughout the season.
Yeah, I was going to say, and they played well.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so
that's the good news.
Man, give me a prediction, man. Jake Paul gonna shock the world. He gonna shake up the world. What we doing?
So let me be 100% honest with my people. I didn't do any research into this fight, in terms of anything at all. They just kept showing the date that it was going to happen, and I kept not believing it. But we're here now. So let me ask you guys, because I'm assuming y'all have a little more data than I, slightly.
I'm in the same boat as you.
Oh shit. Okay. So I was are there any, can he not knock him out, or
no, listen,
is he wearing a helmet?
So here's the thing.
I don't know.
So here's the thing, man. There is much speculation, man. As far as we know, there's no clauses or anything like that, man. It's supposed to be a real fight. It's supposed to be a real fight. If there were any agreements made behind closed doors, they have not been made public. Now, a lot of the public speculates. Like if you go on message boards, if you go into the comment section on the boxing scene, that, Anthony Joshua is not going to be able to knock him out or press him. Apparently, Anthony Joshua was asked a question if he was going to knock him out in the first 2 rounds, and Anthony Joshua pushed back on that question and said, well, I didn't say that. And so a lot of people took that and ran with it and was like, see, man, we told you. Because, listen, I, like you, believe that if this is that they fighting in 10-ounce gloves, Anthony, nephew told us before, Anthony Joshua does have the weight clause. He can't weigh over 245 on the night of the fight and all of that.
There's no way that's happening.
I mean, he might get down to 245. I don't know. Listen,
how?
Man, I mean, boxers know how to cut weight.
But dude, Anthony Joshua just naturally can't be 245 for more than an hour and a half.
I mean, right. He'd be 245 to weigh in. I don't think they have a rehydration clause.
Oh, they don't? Okay, like I said, I don't know any of the details.
I haven't heard about a rehydration clause.
Are they doing the weigh-in the night of the fight?
No. They doing the weigh-in like the day before.
The last time he was under 245 was August 20th, 2022 when he fought.
I'm like, come on.
When he fought Usyk.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm sure he know how to cut weight and get there for the for the weigh-in.
Right, yeah.
He's going to rehydrate.
Oh, yeah, for certain, because he's showing up 260.
Yeah, right. He's
That's
going
what
to
I'm
rehydrate.
right?
Yeah.
His last fight, he was 252.
Okay, so he'll show up at this fight probably 250.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, he'll rehydrate. I mean, I don't think there's a rehydration clause. But if it's a real fight, Anthony Joshua is going to knock his head off.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't. It's one of those things that I won't believe it until I see it.
Right, I know.
I
said that. I'm like, I won't believe the fight is going to happen until they step into the ring.
And I know that's like very low intellectual, low hanging fruit commentary, but I'm being 100%
No, it's not,
honest.
because it's a mismatch.
Yeah, because it's like,
and it's dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, who's okay with this?
Yeah.
Like, did you see what this man did to Francis Ngannou? Like that.
Dude,
I thought he was like needed medical attention. Like, that dude was sleeping in the ring for like 5 minutes after the fight.
Right, yeah. No,
and he's much larger
than
Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Much larger. And has taken more beatings than Jake Paul.
Yeah.
From guys closer to his
own size.
Like,
Jake Paul is a cruiserweight, bro.
Dude, this is beyond dangerous. This is like crazy town. Like, this could go from like entertainment to tragedy.
Yeah. I mean, no.
If all things are, as you say, of on the level.
If everything's on the up and up.
Like, this could be tragic, and I'm not rooting for that. I don't want to watch that. I don't really like Jake Paul annoys the living hell out of me, but that's just, I think, his goal.
I don't want him to get right.
Like, I think that's his goal. But I mean, dude, I don't want any harm to befall this. Like, you can root for someone to get knocked out smelling salt, and they go do the post-fight interview with a shiner or maybe some lost teeth. But dude, his health is seriously on the line if they're really gonna fight against Anthony Joshua, dude. This ain't funny.
I mean, the worst thing that could happen is it go all 8.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like, how people really get hurt. I mean, like, a quick knockout is what it is, because you in there, you get knocked out, you get brought to, and that's what it is. But like, the worst thing that could happen is he just laying heavy shots on you for 8 straight rounds, and then But that's where it gets dangerous, because like, if they do got clauses, brain swelling and all
like,
of that,
make it look good for the fans.
No. That's where I'm at.
I'm could be painful for Jake Paul. Like
that's where you get the brain swelling and the orbital bones getting cracked.
Like, Anthony Joshua is a champion and gold medalist.
Yeah,
he didn't get that by practicing pulling punches. And hitting light or effing around. Like, none of this makes sense, man.
And to your point, I kind of hate that it's Jadion Love who's basically backing this as his trainer. Like, somebody from Inkster is literally helping Jake Paul probably walk into getting hurt.
Yeah, man.
Walk into a moving bus.
This ain't it, man.
Yeah, but at any rate, man, we'll see how it shakes out. It's
got to be some shenanigans involved.
Aside from everything, man, we wishing Jake Paul safety. Both fighters coming out, man, whole is what I'm hoping for, man.
Yeah,
I really don't have a rooting interest one way or the other. But before we get out of here, man, a very big breaking announcement today. One of the greatest fighters really to ever lace them up, in my opinion, man. Terence Bud Crawford announced today that he is retiring from the sport at the age of 38 with an unblemished record of 40-0. And that was a bit of a surprise, but I mean, not so much. I mean, because finding an opponent at this point was becoming increasingly more difficult. But where do you think he stands in the pantheon of great fighters, man? Is he's definitely one of the greatest fighters that I've ever seen.
For sure.
And in the fact that I can't remember him being in a close fight. I don't think he's had a close fight. Every fight that I have ever seen him in, he's been decisively ahead the entire fight. He's controlled the fight. Maybe the Sean Porter fight, but then he just, as soon as his Bomac told him he was losing, he just went out there and like knocked him down twice. he just bit down and just, which is still one of the most remarkable things that I've seen. But what say the people's champ, man? Where does Terence Crawford stand in the pantheon of great fighters, man?
Bud Crawford, man. man. Definitely, I would definitely say he's an all-time great for sure.
Absolutely. Hall of Famer without a doubt.
It was just such a good ride watching him finally get his exposure.
Yeah.
You know, I would say like maybe around like late 2016, 2017, it was, you know, it was starting to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This Bud Crawford guy, he's for real.
Yep.
And in that time, he's taken on all comers. And like you say, he's been pretty much dominant. He's won a variety of ways. He didn't duck anybody.
No.
All of his fights were entertaining.
Yep.
He put on a good show, which I think is when you talk about like all-time greatness, especially boxing, because boxing is box office too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think the saddest thing, really, well, I wouldn't even say sad. I would say probably the negative outside of he probably got his exposure too late.
Yeah, definitely
in his career. You know, if we could have got, you know, Bud maybe 5-6 years, you know, the limelight on him maybe 5-6 years prior, you know, when that whole, you know, like we could have got Crawford,
Mayweather
or Pacquiao.
Yeah.
You know,
or both.
Or that's what I'm, you know, you know what I mean? Like,
because
that should have been, he should have been in that group.
He's older than Canelo.
Yeah.
So instead of Mayweather fighting Canelo, or, you know, or in even at least in that window,
yeah,
he could have been fighting a Bud in his late 20s.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the sad part.
Yeah, like
about his career. It's like,
and imagine that, man.
It's like the
that would have been,
the light got on him, you know, a little
late,
you know, because we, you know, I mean, Bud and Bud and Triple G in like 2011.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? When Triple G was still putting cats to bed on a regular basis.
Yeah, or Bud and Mayweather in 2014, though, like 2012.
So with that said, I mean, it I get it. I mean, the guy's 38 years old.
I do. Yeah, he just made 50 million. So
top of the mountains, not much out there in terms of that. I think would be an internal challenge for him that he would feel to get up for. It would just be another day at the office in terms of competition. You know what I mean? Like, who's out there? So I get that. But but again, it just makes me sad because to like what we were talking about, we didn't get those fights.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think going forward, now that he leaves, you know, where does it go going forward? You know, they just released, I think, like the top 15 fighters.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking at, you know, the list, and it's just like, you look at some of the guys that they left off, and it's like, but we won't get to see these guys, you know, go up against each other. And Bud is just another career where it's so many what ifs.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like how Roy was. And I'm glad he didn't stick around way past his prime. Like, but that's a different issue as to why Roy had to do that and why Bud doesn't have to.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, that's outside of the ring. But, you know, you just don't, and it's sad with boxing, especially now because you got so many good fighters.
Yeah.
Where, you know, you can't get the quote unquote super fights across the myriad of divisions like, you know, you may have gotten, you know, 30, 35, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, that's sad, you know, because there's going to be another, but you look at Inoue, you know, he's probably going to, when he wraps it up, probably have a lot of what ifs.
Yep.
You know,
the
way, hell, Shakur's trending.
Yeah.
Gervonta's talking about retiring. You get what I'm saying? These guys finish with a lot of meat on the bone in terms of like fights that maybe they could have had to solidify, I guess, quote unquote, legacies.
Yep, definitely. What you got now?
I mean, to your point, I think that's why Lopez versus Stevenson at the end of next month is just so important, because I think that's going to be the first fight that ushers in this new era of boxing.
Amen.
And it's going to be the fight that it's the fight that could possibly set the tone for how this next era is going to go, and not just in the general of who's going to be the next man up, but how is the sport shaped? Because like right now, like boxing's at a crossroads.
Yes.
From not only how the fights are made or who controls who and what platforms, all the TV deals and whatnot. Like it's really at a crossroads right now, and I think how this fight unfolds on January 31st, I think is going to be key to what we see going forward from boxing.
Amen. And I'd be remiss, since we're on the subject of boxing, we weren't able to get him on this week because, it's holiday time and schedules do cross paths. But Sunday,
yes,
the 28th, Motor City Soundboard, my man, Mighty Joe, Josiah Shackelford, will be in the ring closing out 2025. If you need tickets, reach out to Almighty Promotions 313. That's on IG, Almighty Promotions 313. Reach out to Mighty Joe 313 on IG as well. If you need ticket information, again, that is Sunday the 28th at Motor City Soundboard. Check out my man Joe Shack put in work one more time to close out 2025.
Yes, indeed. And, man, on that note, man, we appreciate y'all joining us yet again, man, for another week of the Everybody Has One podcast, man. We will be out next week. Obviously, it's Christmas Eve. And then the following week is New Year's Eve. We may do a special edition that week, man. It may be on Monday or Tuesday, but stay tuned to the social sites, man, to keep up with us on that. Stay tuned to the YouTube platform because we'll keep the Everybody Has One family updated, man, for the next time we will air. But other than that, man, everybody have a great, safe, and happy holiday, man, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all that good stuff, man. If we don't see y'all before 2026, we'll definitely come back, man, with all of the poignant topics, man. We might have to do a little deluxe show when we do get back with y'all. But we thank y'all so much for the engagement. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. That's Everybody Has the #1 sports podcast on YouTube. That's Everybody Has One sports podcast everywhere else. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, and that's TikTok, man. We appreciate y'all so much for all of the great engagement. Continue to hit us up in those direct messengers if there's topics that y'all want to hear us discuss, man, and we'll make sure that we get them on. None of this is possible without y'all. It's been a great 2025, man. The engagement has shot up in this last quarter, man.
Crazy.
I can't even tell you, man, how great everything has been. Nephew, man, thank you.
Yes, sir.
For all of your great work on the technical side, man, cutting up all of the clips, getting those put up, getting them scheduled, doing all of the videos. I know that that's a lot of work, man.
Secret weapon.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate you so very much, man, for everything that you add to the content. And we, again, man, thank the entire family, man. It's going to be a lot of great announcements in 2026, man. So y'all stay with us. And we will see y'all, man, on the other side of the new year. If not sooner, it's the Everybody Has One podcast. Peace.